Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, December 9th, and we are looking at the last couple of days of the SPY ETS market profile here on Window Trader. And boy, what an interesting day. A lot happened today. A lot. We opened and made a new high in the regular trading hours. We did not get the overnight high. And then we one time frame down all morning into the afternoon, stopped in J. We have a double distribution day down, trend day down, value which was overlapping to higher and overlapping to lower. And we'll go over, I'm going to go a lot more in detail on the SPY in a minute, but let's go over to the Russell first, the IWM. So we had a trend day up, outside day up, gap to an all-time high, only to fill the gap, take back yesterday's trend day, and have a trend day of our own to the downside. Now, the good news is they're still one-time framing up. The bad news is they do have, at best, a double, if not triple distribution with these two sets of single prints. They have a poor low in IWM also. Now, in the bigger picture, I don't have a problem with what happened today in any of these indices because it's, for the most part, healthy. However, in the SPY, well, I'll show you in a minute. So the Russell, I don't mind that. I mean, you don't want to have single prints. You don't want a trend day down, but it happens. Triple Qs, one time frame down the entire day. They have three sets of single prints, I, H, and G. They tested the bottom of a 6-day balance, held it barely, and held the gap. But the way we close, with shorts down here and everything else, as long as if they stay below in this low distribution, I would think this gap's going to fill. Now let's get to us. Here's what's disappointing initially. We had an outside day up yesterday. It's very powerful. We opened at an all-time high, can't even get the overnight all-time high, and we ended with an outside day down. Now, I'm sure it has happened. But I can't recall in SPY ever, at least for me, having an outside day up one day and an outside day down the next. I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure somebody could come look and say, hey, it happened here or here, but I don't recall. But here's the bigger picture in SPY before I get to what's going on today for me. Here's the bigger picture. We had a 3-day balance. Even though I called it up yesterday, and I did, I said we had an inside day, we came out of it, outside day up. I said you can call it balance, but I'm calling it up giving the buyers their due. Well, obviously, we took back that 3-day balance and now got into this 3-day balance. And here's what happened. Once we got acceptance below that first 3-day balance, look what happened here. Anybody who was still long up here started really pushing. Look at the volume on the day. All your volume is below the last 3 days' lows, right? So that's all these longs getting out and shorts pushing. Now they took out L's high and M and they got to run. They filled one set of single prints, which left us with only one. We do have a double distribution day only now. But it didn't hold long and boom, they went right back down. So in the bigger picture, here's the bottom line. Tomorrow's going to be important. If we open inside the lower distribution and get any push below today's low, you're going to go test the bottom of this 3-day balance, which is 364.20. And you might even test the gap. But forget about the gap. What's important to me about this daily low is it's also right around the previous all-time high of 364.38. That is going to firmly be a go, no-go area for me. If you want to just go down there, test the bottom of that balance, even fill the gap, but come back into this balance then the buyers can say, okay, but any acceptance back into that 364.38 level, which was the previous all-time high, and that's going to be an issue for the bulls. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's why tomorrow is so important, or the next couple of days, to see what we get out of this. Look, just like I said yesterday, don't expect a gap lower today, and we ended up obviously opening higher. Same thing. Don't expect a gap higher tomorrow. If anything, you can gap lower because shorts are still in control and they might want to test the bottom of that balance. So very, very huge focal point tomorrow will be what happens with these shorts. If they take out today's low, well, you get a whole new army joining you if you get to around this low, and that's all these longs. Right now, a lot of them still aren't on the water because of where we closed. But if you start getting to the low of it, what happens? They get nervous, just like these guys did. Look what we did today. We were one time framing down all day, but very orderly. And by the way, I told the room, if we don't see the opening, that's a huge thing. And I had an excellent morning. I'll go over my trades in a while. I didn't do much in the afternoon because it just became pure chop. I had an excellent morning. It shows you how important the opening is. But even though we were one time framing down, B, C inside bar, D, E inside bar, F took it out, not much happening. Why? Because these longs still weren't panicking yet. Right? Most of them were still in the money, or at least half of them. But what happened when change took place in G? Once G said, okay, enough of this pussyfooting, we're going, and we got yesterday's low, they tried an H to come back in. Once that failed and we got below an H, the floodgates opened. I'm sorry, I keep doing that. And all these longs joined the short party. And that's what this was the last 3 hours. You'll never see that on a 30-minute bar. That's why the profile is such a beautiful, beautiful picture. As far as my trades, well, I got short A right off the bat. I played Friday's expiration. Twice I shorted A period. Below the opening, we actually had a small gap, actually when we opened, and then below the opening, shorted it twice, 373s. Then B period, takes out L's low, I got short. B actually ran up, gave me another nice opportunity to add on, right below the opening. Came back down, wrote those down. I said, here's my destinations. POC, afternoon pullback, and then we start going to the single prints. So that worked out very nice. Then, in B period, what did I take a long? I took a real quick long. Was it in B? It was. So when I took the short, yes, I'm sorry. So when I took my put off, I took it off when we filled the first set of singles, and I got long the 368 calls, and it gave me something. Didn't give me a lot, but it gave me something in B period. Okay? All we did was fill the first set. Now, I didn't do anything in C. D. D period comes down. I said, I'm more comfortable taking a short at C's low than even at the day's low, because the fact that we couldn't hold single prints in C kind of led me to be like, maybe all they want to do is, get that first set of singles. So when D took out C's low, boom, jumped right on it, 372 puts. Took out B's low, wrote it right down as they went down, and got to the second set of single prints. That turned out to be nice. Then in G, when G really flushed, I did not get involved on the short. I didn't. The one thing I did, and I did it quick, but boy, did it pay me quick. I'm like, are we really going to take out yesterday's low and have a possibility of an outside day down the first time? So as soon as we got to within a couple of pennies of yesterday's low, I got long the 367 calls, and it immediately popped like 30, 40 cents for me, and turned out to be a very nice trade. Now, I didn't do anything in H. In fact, I didn't do much the rest of the day. So in H, again, I still wasn't a firm believer yet. Well, are we really going to have an outside day down? Well, obviously we did. The singles held in H and we started going. I took a small long in I. I thought, maybe we come back in. I lost small on that. After that, I told the room, forget longs. Longs are off the table. Even though I wasn't a true believer just yet in H, once I held singles and I took a small loss, I'm like, I'm looking for nothing but shorts. And then in I and J, I scalped shorts. Not a lot. I did the 369 puts. Scalped them a couple of times. 5 lots, 10 lots. Did okay. And then in K period, because J took out I's high, K open, came down. I actually took a long. I'm like, maybe we go fill those singles. Kept coming down. Took it off for a small loss. Again, nothing big. And then I just watched L&M. So the majority of my day was done early, and it was a fantastic day because, boy, did they pay me on those shorts early on. And then I lost small on 2 longs in I and K, but more than made up for those 2 small losses on the scalps of my shorts in J and K. I'm sorry, in I and J. Good day. Okay. And the algorithms, like I said earlier, were very accommodating what they were doing. Upside destinations, we only have 3. Set of single prints, 368.59 get filled at 93. H is high to F's low. Today's high, which is an all-time high. Can you believe we had an all-time high today at 371.05, yet we have an outside day down and a trend day down. What a bizarre market. And then our overnight all-time high of 371.41. For the downside, we have today's low of 365.95. Then we have that daily low of 365.50. I really thought we were going to get that. When we were getting that acceleration in I and then we pushed down again, I mean, this is still a target. The ES has a poor low. We don't in SPY, but they do. This is such a target. And I thought this was a beautiful target to get to. 365.50 daily low, 365.49 afternoon pullback. But we didn't get it. Don't doubt we get it tomorrow. As long as these shorts aren't threatened tomorrow morning, I would think we should go down and take out that area I just showed you. Then the huge level comes into play. And that's the 364.20 daily low right here. And then fill in the gap at 363.12. 108-point gap from the first. And that would also put you back into the previous all-time highs, that big mess of a 14-day balance. Important that the bulls don't get sucked into that. So let's go to the charts. I'm sorry this is a little longer, but I think showing you the entire picture is an eye-opener. I think it helps tremendously. I hope it does. The monthly is still very healthy. We don't want to get back in last month's range. 364.38, and again, you can see at least the 350 area if you get acceptance. So acceptance into last month's range, and then I can see another, $14, $15 to the downside. Weekly, still one time framing up 5 weeks, not even including this week. We are back inside, right? We got distance away from these 3 weeks last week. This week, we did take out the high, but we're back inside of it. That's going to be important, right? Because if we get acceptance into last month's range, last week's high low is 359.17. Now, I'm not saying it'll happen this week, but depending on what this week's low is, then we could finally stop the one-time framing up. And then the daily, 7-day balance now. Outside day down, so that's bearish. Just like that was bullish yesterday, it's bearish. It is a 7-day balance. Today's high is the top of the 7-day balance, and 364.20 is the bottom of it. And that's the very important level that I believe needs to be held. We had a really good day in the trading room today. I'm telling you, it's not just me in this trading room, ladies and gentlemen. We have incredibly talented traders that are putting incredibly valuable input throughout the entire day. The profile is streaming live all day. You're getting play-by-play all day. And this is pennies a day. It's less than $1 a trading day. So come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. I hope you had a great day trading. Have a lovely evening. And we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.